standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall and we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in, just me, just you.
Hello gems, it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi. I'm really glad you clicked on this video. I do hope by the end you'll want to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. So today I'm going to be talking about foundations and your skincare and what you might be doing that's messing things up and causing cakiness, oxidation, and all of that. So let's get started. Alright guys, so let's talk about skincare and foundation. I exfoliated today, so my skin's a little bit red. I've got my coffee. Grab yours because this video is for you guys that want to sit down, learn about skincare, makeup, what primers can work with what foundations, so on and so forth. Reading ingredients can be a nightmare. It is for pretty much most of us. And a water-based foundation and an oil-based primer or a silicone-based primer, they don't always work well together. And when you look at ingredients, just because the first ingredient is water doesn't necessarily mean it's not a silicone-based foundation. And when you have something that has silicone in it, the silicone helps keep moisture in, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of the times we're putting on a silicone primer and then an oil-based foundation and it just does not work very well together. That's why a lot of companies will produce their own primer, or own primer, their own concealer, and their own foundation because they go well together. It's not always the case, and I'm no expert on ingredients, but I did years ago when I was a manager of a tanning salon learn about ingredients because I wanted to know what was in the lotions that we were using. So I know a little bit of information, such as dimethicone is a skin softener, and you know there are moisturizers now and skincare in your foundations too, so you don't always need a primer. A lot of us that have larger pores like primers, and if you have oily skin, a primer is good so your foundation has something to stick to and it doesn't fall off of your face. A lot of the times if you're using foundation, you have oily skin, you'll be shiny like an hour or two later without the right primer, and then you basically can wipe off the foundation because it's got nothing to stick to. Oil gets produced under the skin, and with too much of it, anything is going to slide off of your face. So today I wanted to kind of show you guys which foundations work with what setting powders and what primers. So that's what we're going to talk about. I've got my favorite foundations lately, and one of them is the Makiage, which I have been loving. I've been loving it. I do have to look at the ingredients on that one, but I did get a moisturizer. They call it a power cream, and they tell you that it primes the skin pretty well. Yes, it does actually, and I do like it a lot. Okay, so we have that, and then we've got some other foundations that I've been using. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush. Now I'm getting a little darker for this, so I would have to mix it with something darker. Your undertones obviously play a huge role in your shade match for your foundation, and I can do a separate video on that if you'd like. I've also got the Fenty Beauty foundation, the Makeup Forever foundation, the new HD one, and the Anastasia Luminous foundation. Those are all foundations I do enjoy using. Today, which one do I want to use? I have the Wayne Goss too. Got that one. And my area needs to be cleaned again, but I did start washing my brushes. I had to have the TV next to me. I was standing up in the kitchen and I just hate sitting there and washing brushes. All right, so now this here, Wayne Goss's foundation, the first ingredient is a moisturizer, and his foundation is different. It is definitely more hydrating to the skin. And then prepping your face. If you're going to use, let's say you're dry and you want to use an oil, if you're going to use an oil to moisturize your skin, you don't want to put on a water-based foundation because it's not going to work well together. And a lot of the times I liked using the Tarte Moroccan oil and then using my foundation, and I wasn't paying attention to the ingredients, and I was like, this combination does not work best. I have mentioned combinations, and if you guys wanted to see it and you said yes, because like I said, certain foundations, it's getting cakey, it's dry, and you're like, what's going on? You know, I moisturized, I did this. You gotta pay attention to what you're putting on as a moisturizer. Oil-based, you know, oil-based products work well with oil-based products, and water-based products the same. Now, mind you, if you're going to use any type of water-based serum or anything like that, you are going to want to put that on before you put on an oil, especially at nighttime if you're using your, well, doing your nighttime routine or your morning routine. You're going to want to put on your water-based serum, let it sit in, and then put your oil over it. Usually about 10 minutes will do it. Okay, so I am going to use the Makiage Power Cream as a moisturizer. I did exfoliate, but I used a tool to exfoliate, the Neutrogena Microdermabrasion kit. I love that. I do have a link for it down below if you're interested in seeing it. It's just this really cool tool that will get rid of all of the dead skin cells and make sure skin feels so soft. Okay, so now, my skin feels so much better. I'm gonna let this moisturizer sit in. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we have the Ouai Goss foundation. I'm using the shade number 7. This is an oil-based foundation, so you're gonna need an oil-based concealer. Otherwise, and I'm not using a primer. Otherwise, you're gonna need a cream concealer, or, and I'll get to it, a powder to lighten the under eye. I do like this foundation a lot. It's definitely mature skin friendly. It's not the best I've used, but I've been trying out a lot of foundations recently, and it's definitely up there. Now I do have larger pores, so you can use a brush if you want to and do that buffing method that I've shown you guys in the past. That really does help to minimize them. Okay, so being that I'm not going to put concealer underneath my eyes, I am going to put foundation there. I did use an under eye cream for dark circles. It was the Ren that we just got in Boxy. I've been using that. So far, so good. Okay, so now I've put down my first layer of foundation. And being that it's oil-based, I'm going to be using cream products. And I'm also going to use something different. I'm going to set my under eye with this brightening powder here from the Too Faced. It says it's a light highlight and it's the Cocoa Contour Palette. And I am going to go in with my Damp Beauty sponge. Now you could use Jaclyn's brightening powders as well, but I'm going to use this first. Like I would a concealer. And then I'm going to go in with Jaclyn's brightening powders. And you remember we used to get so excited when we hit pan on something? Look, I hit pan. I thought that was great. I was like, ah. Okay, so now for some brightening powders. And the other reason I like to do this instead of using the concealer is because it doesn't settle into fine lines, and not every concealer won't settle into fine lines. Most of them do. But if you've got powders here, for brightening instead of that, you really don't have that problem as long as you're not caking on the powder. Alright, I am going to use the brightening powders in a few other areas here. I'm going to put that away and we're going to move on. You can definitely use a powder bronzer and a powder blush if you want to. I'm just prefer to put cream when I use an oil-based foundation. It seems to work better for me. Alright, so yeah, let's get into that. I've got to do my brows and I've got to put on an eye primer. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my eyes off camera for you guys in a separate tutorial and I'll link that in here for you. But now we're going to go in with our bronzer, our highlight, our blush, all that fun stuff. After you worked real hard on your eyes, you're like, alright, yeah, let's get this done. Alright, I'm going to go in with NARS. And this here is the Summer Solstice palette. It came out last summer. We've got the bronzing powder. Does it tell me the shade name? No. It just says Cheek Duo. Okay, so we're going to get a fan brush. Fan brush is the easiest way to apply bronzer on an angle without over applying. Yeah, see the difference? And it's not like super harsh or anything. And again, we're bronzing. We're not contouring, we're bronzing. I need to figure out what type of blush I want to go with. And being that I've got brown and a little bit of gold on my eyes, we are going to stay away from pink blush. Okay, let's stay away from the pink blush. We do need a blush brush. Go with something nice and fluffy. This is the Your Magic MOTD brush. This just came in one of the subscription boxes. I'm so bad at remembering which is what. And being that BoxyCharm is basically Ipsy now and vice versa, it's kind of like, okay, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's one of those boxes. All right, let's go in. Oh, you know what I want to do? Let's go in with Jaclyn's. Jaclyn's, or do I want to do Dossier? Because these colors are fabulous. Yeah, let's start off with, oh no, that one's kind of pink. What's this one on the end here? 64 is so good. I don't know. It's this one. I'm going to go in with that one. Oh yeah, that'll work. Oh, I love me some blush. Ooh, see the difference? God, I love makeup. So no cream blush today. We used powder. Okay, look at these highlights. See, oh no, let me see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm liking it. Awesome. Okay, so what do we have left? Mascara and lashes and setting powder and setting spray. That is what we have left. Okay. For setting powder, I want to maintain something matte. And oh, here it is. We're going to go in with the one size translucent. Woohoo! Okay. You can go in with your beauty sponge with this if you want to. Give it a minute. And you can do this until it's completely blended in. Or you can take a big fluffy brush and brush it all away. I would rather press it in. Okay. If you hear the puppy in the background, I apologize. Just say, Mommy, take me out. Okay. Let's do eyelashes and mascara and lips, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so those were my tips. What do you guys think? Are you more confused now that I've shared with you some ingredients and the foundations and which combination works and which doesn't? And I can tell you this, Ouai & Goss's foundation is oil-based. I used oil-based products or powders to go along with it, and the setting powder that I used today and setting spray was the One Size Translucent, and I used Jaclyn's new setting spray. You just have to be careful when applying stuff. You never want to apply too much at first. And if you are not sure about what products work, you can always try them on the back of your hand. Lay down a primer, lay down a foundation, wait, see if it does any type of oxidation, see if it separates, anything like that. If so, you need to start over. But if it doesn't, put a powder over it and give it another hour or so and look down, and you should be able to tell which is going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. Now, I know you probably have more questions, so put them down in the comments. I'll do my very best to answer them, and I'll see you guys real soon in another video.